Hello everyone, it's Old Guardian here. In this Warcraft Rumble HEROIC campaign guide, I'll show you how to take down Goreclaw the Ravenous with all families. Goreclaw is one of the most difficult heroic fights. Goreclaw itself is a single target attacker, so as an upside it only hits one target at a time, but it kills anything in 2 hits, so yeah, Goreclaw is going to deal a ton of damage to whatever you try to send at it. And also there's all these raptors. Every 1 minute, so 3:30, 2:30, 1:30, Goreclaw is going to send out this bunch of raptors. So there's this bunch of raptors coming at you, and also Goreclaw's army is well balanced because Goreclaw has ogre mages, drakes, trolls, prowlers, warsong raiders, just a wonderful balance of physical damage and elemental damage. So really difficult to handle. And to make matters worse, Safe Pilot was recently nerfed, so Safe Pilot cannot really counter those trolls. It's the regenerating trolls, so they're going to heal up any damage your Safe Pilot deals to them, and Safe Pilot also can't handle the drakes very well anymore. So a lot of problems. However, Goreclaw is doable with the right team, a couple of levels under, so around a level 19 team, even a little bit under 19, 18 point something team is able to handle Goreclaw, and in this video I will tell you how. And this is the army that I mostly use for Goreclaw. I have Angry Chickens, I have Whelpex, I have Pyromancer, I have Abomination, Defias Bandits, and Frostwolf Shaman. There are 2 minis that are really needed for this one. One is the Flameburst Whelpex, so they also need the Flameburst talent, because you can use those like landmine. You just drop them and they explode and they take out so many raptors, prowlers, warsong raiders, lots of stuff. It's just phenomenal mini in this one. And the other one is chickens, because Goreclaw is going to kill enemies one at a time. That means the chickens deal the most damage possible to Goreclaw, and chickens are just incredibly strong in this one. Also great against prowlers, great against warsong raiders. As for the other minis in this one, well, Pyromancer is great because Pyromancer counters drakes, and Pyromancer is also good against all those masses of minis that are coming at you. And I really like to do this with an armored tank. And armored Abomination, so Earth Shield talent on the Shaman to make Abomination armored is the best way. Then you have a really strong armored tank, which is able to contest all of those raptors, and it's also great against ogre mages and great against trolls. It just pulls them over and smacks them down. Also, bandits are great. Bandits Picklock talent is the best talent for this one, because with Picklock talent you can get more gold because there are a couple of chests in the map and you can grab those. So this is the ideal arm that I want to use. Then I want to use this army to take both towers and start sending chickens and Whelpex at Goreclaw. Those are mainly going to deal the damage to Goreclaw. And that's pretty much the story. But what about Horde? When you're playing Horde, there are no leaders that can buff Abomination. So then you're in a bit of a pickle, because you can't get the high level Abomination anymore. But I have an army for Horde as well. Here I'm using Footmen, because Footmen are already armored, although Footmen are not that great against ogre mages, so I don't like this as much as using armored Abominations. And then I don't use the Frostwolf Shaman, because I don't need to make anything armored right here, so I'm using Troll instead, which gives me a little bit more tools against that Drake. So this is a fine army as such. Footmen do need to be a little bit higher level maybe than the Abomination, and this is what the fight looks like with all families in action. So let's start with Alliance first. Here I'm able to use my Whelpex, and those Whelpex bomb is one of my favorite things to do. If there's no ogre mage coming from that side, now we have the prowler, we have the warsong raider, we have raptors, and Whelpex are going to deal so much damage to them. There is quite a bit of leeway as to what minis you need to have in your opening hand in this one, but the start is brutal because the computer is just going to attack at you immediately and with lots of minis, so you probably will need to practice each start a little bit to see, okay, what's exactly coming this time and what do I need to use to counter that. But so far I haven't found any starts that would be particularly difficult. They're all quite brutal, but they are also all doable. And here we see the value of that Abomination, just pulling the ogre mage in, pulling the troll in, just doing a great job overall. And then I'm trying to attack at the towers. They have Drake with the Roost talent. With this one I don't have a lot of minis that can fight against that Drake, because basically I mostly have the Pyromancer and to a lesser extent the Shaman. So it's a little bit difficult to attack that Drake defended tower, but Drake usually does not defend it, so it's totally fine. So here we do that attack, but then at 2:30, another spawn of raptor spawned, so okay, we try to fight against those. And Armored Abomination again doing so much work. Just splendid work. I'm sending a Pyromancer over to their roosting Drake, so that I will be able to take down the Drake. And once I get the Drake down, then that will open up opportunities to fight the tower. There you can see the Abomination again with the Troll, just doing a phenomenal job. Another Armored Abomination going the other way. So now I'm in a pretty pleasant position. I have Armored Abomination going both ways, and in 5 seconds another wave of raptors is going to spawn, but I'm not intimidated by that because I have a lot of stuff everywhere, so that should not be a problem at all. Trying to get these chickens out here to possibly protect the shaman a little bit. Are they in time? Yes, they are. Wonderful, wonderful. Those waves are still quite brutal. I lost most of my minis there, but I did manage to take the tower, and I'm attacking the other tower, so I'm feeling quite confident at the moment. This is probably going to be a victory, although I have lost both towers at the same time when there has been a wave and I have not been ill prepared. But now I think everything looks pretty sweet. Wasn't able to grab that tower, but it's okay. We have the Armored Abomination on its way. I probably should drop some chickens here to attack Goreclaw, and I do remember to do that. Because chickens deal the most damage to Goreclaw. And as you can see, just a single wave of chickens gets a good chunk of damage in. So even just the left tower could be enough, and then I could start sending chickens from there. But it's really hard to defend sometimes, so I prefer the safety of having both towers. Alright, well, the battle continues, and I'm being assaulted by the Prowler. Alright, I survived that. Now my base really can't take much more damage, but I have one of the towers again. It's overtime, but alright, towers are mine. I can start sending out chickens, I can start sending out wellbags. Alright, now Goreclaw will not have enough time to get another wave in, and we have a lot of stuff coming at Goreclaw. We're poisoning it, we're damaging it. So many minis, another wave of chickens coming, and this is going to be it. And boom, Goreclaw goes down. And here we go with beasts. I did it with beasts a couple of times. I did it with the Armored Abomination, and I also did it with Footmen, just to test out the strategy a little bit more times. This time I'm also using a Dark Iron Miner here, so that I can try to contest some of the lanes and I can try to contest some of the chests, and it was okay, but not significantly better than other strategies, so I didn't adopt that as part of the main plan. Anyway, here we go, using some more beastly minis so that I can buff everything that's beastly. And boom boom, we're assaulting, we're getting good attack into the tower, that goes nicely. Now obviously there's that bit of a problem in that Prowler is coming, and I will need to have something to handle that. But base was able to defend actually adequately here, so that's okay. Now I'm actually able to take some of the gold there and deny some of the gold from the enemy. So that's nice. Now the base is going to go down though. Yeah, I was a little bit too slow there. That's the wave. That's the wave of 230. And I'm trying to find the right tools to fight against everything. So far so good. Ogre Mage fighting for the tower. I'm trying to defend a little bit with the chickens. We're able to get the tower back again. And now trying to push through here. Right. Tower has been built, that's nice. I can use the Dark Eye Miner again to deny some gold from Goreclaw. Dropping the Murlocs after the Ogre Mage committed, so the Ogre Mage is shooting at the tower and then the Murlocs will be safe. Murlocs can start shooting at the Ogre Mage. Prowler can be countered by chickens, and chickens are also the best thing that I have to deal damage to Goreclaw, so I'm super happy about that. Although 130, ouch, new wave of minis coming again. I have a pretty good army on that side. I have some footmen on this side. And can add a bomb. Bomb with the wellbegs. And everything looks quite alright. Alright, things are looking good. Turning that arrow so that I can get an attack in at the tower. Thinking about where do I need to mine next. I would need to actually turn the ogre mage around, but I'm a little bit too slow. And I managed to lose the chickens. Well, it happens. But as it may, the footman is still there. Footman is strong enough. Now I have both towers. I still have a little bit of time before the next wave is going to come. I might not be able to kill Goreclaw before that, so I probably need to think about my defenses for the next wave as well. Because here spawns the wave every minute they spawn. But it's actually looking pretty good. Right now we have a good attack coming, and most of the wave was destroyed by my ingoing attack. Which means that this Goreclaw is just going to take a whole bunch of damage and it's going to go down. The importance of the opening hand, it's not fun, but it is what it is. Maybe we must not make it armored. Maybe I can just drop the abomination here without giving it armor. Just start blasting like this. Seems like a plan. No, the eggs were not enticing enough. Right, we survived that, right? I think we did. We did. Yikes. We can get rid of those, right? Simply we can. It is not looking that bad. I mean, actually, this looks like a victory. I'm quite confident this is a victory. Let's go. Okay. Do we now have a strategy for this? Here's another clear with the footmen. It's with Horde, because Horde cannot buff the abominations, and ironically, even though Frostwolf Shaman is a Horde mini, that also makes Horde minis much weaker. However, here I am able to make use of the troll. I do like the troll in this map a lot. I just haven't found spot for it, for the main things, because I need some cheap things, so I can't really get rid of the bandits, and I need the AoE, so I can't really get rid of the pyromancer. It's just a little bit hard to make good use of the troll usually. But with this specific army, then the troll works quite well. Also using Cairn here, so Cairn gives me the opportunity to have a little bit more health on my Horde minis. With Cairn I could also do Armored Fire Elemental, but I found that you need to outlevel the content a little bit. Fire Elemental requires more levels, than many other minis in order to be effective enough. It can be done with that too. So if you have like one big tank that's multiple levels ahead of the others, then yeah, you can of course consider that, like fire elemental instead of the footmen, or maybe grunts. I don't know if anyone has big grunts really, but levels are always super strong. Because if you have stuff that's like 2-3 levels ahead of other things, then that just means that it typically is superior, even if it's not normally the optimal mini to use. There we go, with the footmen pushing 2 sides. We managed to get 1 tower. I'm trying to do split pushes with footmen. That also mitigates their weakness to ogre mage. Because for ogre mage it's the same whether it's 2 footmen or it's 4 footmen, it still needs the same amount of hits. It's going to kill all of them. And by split pushing I can get some tankiness against ogre mages, while also getting tanks on the other side as well. There we managed to take down the ogre mage. But it's 1:30, which means another wave is going to spawn. I'm going to split push with the footmen again here, so that they will tank on both sides of my base. So, mitigating any damage that base is going to take here. I'll send those footmen to the middle now that the tower seems pretty safe. Often I would still send them through the tower, because the AI is going to attack that tower multiple times. And then if you send your footmen there, then they can just help defend it while they're going. Here the picklock talent is really useful. Just boom. That's a whole bunch of gold right there. At this point I probably should be sending chickens towards Goreclaw. But let's see. I'm still trying to get to that other tower as well. Well, another push is coming in 3 seconds, so it's probably a good idea to be ready for that. The bomb would be really useful here, the flame whelp egg bomb. Now there's a chance that I lose the tower, but I don't. Excellent, tower is still mine, but there's a big push coming from that side that I will need to counter. Now the whelp egg bomb would also be great if it's in time. Just in time. That was beautiful. Alright, we're hitting overtime here. I have not been able to take the tower, so yeah, really I should be pushing more with the chickens from the tower that I do have. But often if you start pushing really hard from the tower that you have, then there's going to be a big push coming from the other tower, which can result in you losing the game. But now that we're already in overtime and we're in a fairly comfortable position, then we can just push in that attack and boom, take it down. And finally, Goreclaw with Undead. Here, obviously, Abomination being an Undead mini, always guaranteed to get the buff. Well, I don't actually use the buff here because I wanted to make it lower level so that you could see that it can be done, even if you don't have an over-leveled Abomination here. So I'm just using a level 19 Abomination, minus 2 levels compared to Goreclaw, and still going to get the job done. Here we go. Abomination is it's just beautiful here against those trolls, against those ogre mages, especially now after the safe pilot was nerfed and the safe pilot just cannot handle the things that it used to do, unless of course it's higher level. Because if you have like a level 21 safe pilot, yeah, then obviously it's still going to be fine here. But a level 20 safe pilot, for example, now does not kill that regenerating troll anymore. But the Abomination, level 19 Abomination, does just hook the troll and kill it. And yeah, that is beautiful. Alright, another wave is coming. I'm thinking what to do. I decided I'm going to send an Abomination to push this side. Maybe that was a mistake, because now the Prowler is going to retake the tower I already had. That tower is already mine. I already had it. I had it in my hand. But now it's no longer mine. Ouch. Yeah, and they managed to rebuild it, so I have to start from scratch in that regard. Be that as it may, well, it's not completely from scratch, because I'm not under any significant pressure. I have a really strong push going towards the right tower, and I'm going to get some minis ready for this tower as well, so It's actually looking quite alright. There's that ogre mage. Let's armor up and start healing my abomination. And that push on that side is just... it's just doing phenomenally well. And there happens to be another wave of raptors, but that wave of raptors ran into my double abominations, which means that those raptors were unable to get much of anything done. Now I do need the pyromancer because there's a roosting drake covering this tower. Oh, but that living bomb. The AI doesn't often use living bomb unless you have a really large number of minis. So sometimes if you try to do some all-in strategies, you have to be a little bit careful not to get them into a living bomb. But other than that, not too many living bombs around. I could also try to start attacking here from the right tower that I do own with chickens. That would be possible. So you just need to try to find the right balance. Right balance between defending and then just getting aggressive. Because in this one, obviously, one single push can destroy your base, especially when you're underleveled. So that means that you have to be very, very careful about it. If you decide to go for a big push and the enemy still has a tower left, then there can be one single push, and sometimes it's something like a Warsong Raider that is pushing an ogre mage towards your base, and then they just take down the base. It can get a little awkward. Trying to defend a little bit over here, and also start sending some attacking forces. Alright, that defense actually worked out just fine. Now what I would really need was probably not that. I think it was more like chickens. And what here the chickens are coming. I'm also getting a bunch of gold. And alright, now we're pushing. It's overtime, but that's fine. We have everything we need to push. I wait a little bit for some chickens to die there, so that I don't have too many minis at once, so that I don't encourage them to use the living bomb. But in the meanwhile, there's enough stuff here, and Goreclaw just goes down. So that's heroic Goreclaw, even 2 levels under. Thank you for watching. Click like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and a special thanks to all of my Patreon supporters, YouTube members and Twitch subscribers who make all of these videos possible.